Hello, happiness abounder, and welcome back. So excited today to continue our chat all about 5 more things you can do to improve your relationships. And today I want to use the words of kindness as one of those things you can do. Because I want you to seriously consider this. Like for real. Because when I first thought of this, it was mind-blowing. Has anything good ever come out of saying something mean? Like, seriously, think about it. Has anyone saying something mean to you spurred you to positive action? Has anyone saying something mean to you ever made you feel great? Has it ever made you feel like you just want to crawl into a hole and die? Has it ever made you feel bad about yourself? Or maybe it has spurred you to action to prove someone wrong. But is that positive action because that's not really sustainable and it's out of a vengeance versus doing it because you want to or you love to? Like, seriously consider it. Anytime your parents said something mean to you, did it help or did it sting? Anytime a boss, a supervisor, a manager, a coworker even has said something mean to you at work, or provided feedback in a mean way, has that spurned you to greatness? Or has it made you just feel a little less than? I ask all these things because anything that's said in kindness has a way of improving our relationships. But so often we lean towards this meanness. And funny enough, last week's episode on sarcasm is a form of mean. Like, let's just put that out there. It's a form of being mean. But when we can speak with kindness, even if it is criticism, if you can do it kindly, it can move mountains. It can make things so much better. But in our heads, how often do we say something mean? And we may not even say it out loud to the individual, which I'll get to that, but how often do we say something mean about that other person or the situation or whatever it is? And then how often does that meanness come through when you talk about the situation? If you talk about the situation. So today, when we talk about speaking kindly, I want to first start with this thought of, has anything ever mean been said to you that's resulted in something very, very positive? So I'm willing to bet that maybe the outcome was positive because that person said something mean and it changed the way that you do things because you didn't want to disappoint them, or you proved that you were better than what they said, or maybe you changed the way you did things because it kind of shut you down and you found a way to work around that. So you're positive on the outset, like on the very far back end. But was it a very positive experience? Was it a positive way to get there? In most cases, if someone says something mean to you, it's not going to help you get where you want to go, and it's not going to deepen or improve your relationships. So that's number 1. Number 2, when we think of speaking kindly, and I've used examples here of your parents, your siblings, your friends, your coworkers, your spouse. We think of all these other people. But speaking kindly to improve your relationships starts, and you guys know what's coming, it starts by speaking kindly to yourself. Just like providing grace to other people so that they can make mistakes and learn and grow, that only happens once you start to provide grace for yourself. Because if you don't provide grace for yourself, you judge other people because you don't want to be looking at yourself, so you judge them more harshly than you would, even though you're still judging yourself harshly. It's the same thing with speaking kindly. It's really hard to speak kind to someone else when you're not speaking kind to yourself. So, first thing of this thing to improve your relationships is to speak kindly to yourself. Give yourself a little bit of grace. And I say that knowing that most of you who listen to the show, and I apologize for the coughing, still, it's been a month and I still have this cough from being sick. But most of you who listen to the show are very much go-getters. So there's that like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. And when I don't, and I'm not a perfectionist or whatever it is, I feel terrible. And if I give myself grace, I'm letting myself off the hook, and that's not acceptable. No, 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 no. Giving yourself grace, speaking with kindness, does not keep you from continuing to move forward or from that very fast momentum that you like to have. Speaking from experience here, I am that person. But when I started to speak more kindly to myself, I started to realize that I could take that tension and that pressure off of myself, speak more kindly, and new opportunities and avenues to get the same thing done in a faster amount of time would occur. So instead of forcing it and feeling terrible all the time, I didn't lose any of that drive, but I gave myself the grace by speaking kindly to myself. So if you want to improve your relationships, that's the number one thing you need to do. Speak kindly to yourself. Number 2, speak kindly to your spouse. Make sure that they know you care about them. You're speaking to them in their love language, but you're also speaking with love and kindness, not meanness and not sarcasm. And third is others. Anyone else. But let's lean into kids for a second. Depending on the age of your children, they may or may not remember the mean thing you might have said out of frustration and impatience. But if they do, they will, in fact, remember it. And even if they can't recall it, it will be in their subconscious. So speaking kindly to our children can set them up for love and success and improved relationships. So I want you to consider that element too. And in speaking to others, as many of you know, I lead a team at work. If I don't speak with kindness, and this is something I work on too, I definitely have to work on speaking with kindness to myself, to my spouse, to others, and even to my team. But if I can speak with kindness when I'm offering feedback for improvement, it's not sugarcoating it. I'm not saying, oh, you're doing amazing, but it's, hey, this is something I'm concerned about. This is what I think we can do to get it to where we need to be. What do you think? And it's a communication, a collaboration, but it's based in kindness. Because nobody got the loyalty and the love and the appreciation from cracking the whip. You may get the job done, but you won't get the longevity. You won't get the sustainability, and you will not have the improved relationships. That doesn't matter who it is, whether it's yourself, your spouse, others. So I want to leave you with that concept today. Be thinking, is there a time where someone has said something mean to you that made you feel good? Because I guarantee that there's probably not. And then look at how you speak to yourself and shift to speak to yourself with kindness, to see a great improvement in how you can speak with kindness and show kindness to others. So like I said, leaving you with that today. I hope that this episode resonated with you, and if it did, I would love to hear so. You can find me at happinessabound.com, Happiness Abound blog on Facebook, and happiness_abound on Instagram. There's also a YouTube channel in there and a Twitter account as well as a Pinterest account. So if you just look up Happiness Abound, you should be able to find the podcast and my information on any of those sites. Side note, many of you that listen to the audio, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. If you want to leave a review on Apple Podcast, iTunes, that would be amazing. It helps other people find the show, and I deeply appreciate those 5-star reviews. So that said, if you don't listen via Apple, then you can leave a review on Facebook at Happiness Abound blog on Facebook. You can actually leave a review there. Again, appreciate those 5 stars. And if you are watching this on YouTube or IGTV, I deeply appreciate it and would love for you to comment so that other people can find this episode and the show as well. So that said, have a wonderful day. Be sure to speak with kindness to yourself and others. And above everything else, remember, you are capable of happiness abound.